Seller ladies.
Hello.
Hello. We've got Karen.
Hello.
This way.
Hello, everybody.
And Sue. And
I nearly went like that.
Welcome to everybody in the chat who's joined us. I can see, Kelly's in. She's been trying to move a sofa today, so not able to join us today. I can see Rebecca, Nigel, Bronwyn. Hi, Bronwyn. And Sam's in. Hi, Sam. Mandy. And Vicky, the toy hoarder. And Claire Plant. And, Karen. Hi. So, thank you for joining us. I hope everybody is armed with their questions, because we're not very prepared today. We hashed this together about 2 hours ago and said, let's take some questions. So, the topic today was suggested by Lex, who thought that with a back to school type loose topic about almost back to school for resellers, and trying to refresh on a few basics and asking us questions on things that you've always been afraid to ask, maybe, or not quite sure on. So we're here to answer any of the questions today. Becca's in. Hi, Becca.
Hi, Becca.
Jamie, Cara, Carrie, just me. Helen. Hi, Helen. Helen's coming to the meetup.
Lovely.
Hi, Kelly, Joan, BW Coco, Lenny, Gary, Southwest Sellers, Antoinette. Oh, lots of people now. This is good. Victoria and Trevor. So, hi, everybody.
Can I just say I haven't done anything? So, first of all, I got said it looked like a police lineup, and then I look guilty. I didn't have anything to it.
Police lineup.
And I can't see the chat, so you'll have to tell me if anybody asks anything specific to me, because I can't do two jobs at once.
Yeah, I've got it on my phone, I think.
No. Oh, Trevor Hickman says, can I come to the meetup? You can. I'm going to put some information about it up on our Facebook. I'm going to try and do that today, and also up on our other social media if you don't follow us. So there will be information about it, how to let us know if you're coming, because obviously we're limited on numbers and all of that. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, how is everybody? Have you all survived this summer?
Yeah. I don't have little ones at home, so it's just babysitting duties for me.
Yeah, you get to give them back. Nice. So Karen, how are you? Are you getting back into things?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, my kids are so used to me working from home. I've been doing it since Sophie started in year R.
Yeah.
Course, that was about 8 years, so they're absolutely used to it. So they're used to mummy having to work 2 days a week.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're back at school. Teething issues are going on at the moment, but they always do when they first start back at school.
But you love them being off and love them going back all at the same time, don't you?
Yeah.
I remember.
I love the idea of them being off. And then after a week or two, then Mum, I'm hungry. Mum, I'm ready for them to go back to school. Half terms are nice, summer holidays go on for way too long.
Yeah, we saw a bit of that in one of your vlogs where your son was saying he was hungry all the time.
He always does. Always does.
Yeah.
I used to say my name's been changed to Mum Can I?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've always loved it when Ellen's off school, and I always get to miss stuff. But she's been into school this morning and she's home already. So.
Yeah, my son tells me he's got a half day today, so at some point he's going to hammer on the door, despite having had his own key for the best part of the year. So if I dash off, that's why, and I will be back.
Yeah.
How many has he lost, Heather?
Oh, he hasn't lost a key.
Oh.
He doesn't seem to want to use it. Oh. I don't know. He just it's part of his rituals to come and hammer on the door. So, yeah.
Man lost him regularly. Nikki was sat on the drive once for me. I had to come all the way back from Goole, which was 40 miles each way, to let her in because she'd lost her key and it was snowing.
Oh,
I'd got appointments, so I had to come all the way and then go all the way back again.
oh, she didn't have a neighbour she could go into.
No, not really. And I didn't say much when I let her in the door, to be fair.
I bet she was lucky.
Just seeing Shelley's joined us. Hello, Shelley.
Hi, Shelley.
And Chris says he doesn't do social media, should be able to find a way to contact you. I did get your message from Shelley, actually, so it's all good. You're down on the list, so don't worry. That's fine. So yeah, I imagine his key is buried right at the bottom of his bag.
Yeah, well, they just don't like to. He doesn't like to use it because our door doesn't fit that well in the door frame sometimes. That too much information, I know, but there you go.
Let's see.
So have you got any questions coming in?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Just catching up. So Corinne, how are you? You're getting on well with your shoes and shirts and things?
Yeah, I'm on 45 total listings so far this week, which is very good for me. And the plan is to do some more later this evening, and then I'm probably going to have the weekend off actually and try and get some housework done.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's when you throw yourself into work, the rest of the house just goes to pot. So.
Yeah,
Always.
And excuse my appearance because I got woken up at 2 o'clock this morning by Monty, and I wondered why he'd woken me up, and it took me quite a while to realise I was having a hypo. So he woke me up to tell me that my blood sugar was low. So I'm a bit tired, but you know, he's going to get a special treat this afternoon. He's got some back because he's so good.
Is he trained to do that then, or is that just?
No, wow. He's just done it from when we first got him.
So he could save your life potentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
wow.
Definitely.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I understand why he's very pampered. I understand that now. Yes.
Dogs are supposed to be really good at sensing things like that, aren't they?
Yeah, my cat would just eat my face.
His chin on my cheek until I woke up, basically.
You should have called him Lassie.
Okay, let's get to some questions. We've got one from Kelly. What was your setup when you very first started? Who wants to start with that then?
Go on then. It was chaos. Absolute chaos. I was surrounded by mid-century modern furniture in a very small house, and I was literally couldn't move in the house without tripping over chairs. I had things in the shed. I had things in the hallway. I had things in the bedroom. Honestly, talk about tack creep. It was everywhere. It was like a virus. So it took a while. It took a long while to get a proper system in because I'm not really one for systems naturally. So I had to get through the chaos and the pain of losing the odd item as well to kind of wake up a bit and think, you know, actually I've got to do something about it.
Yeah. So how long did it take you before you got it all organised?
Well, I'm still working on it, let's put it that way. It keeps changing because what I'm selling is changing and the way I work is changing. I'm up to sort of 1,500 listings now, so if I'm not organised, I'm in big doo-doos. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Sue? What was your setup?
Well, photography-wise, it was folded white cardboard or white paper with a sort of clip-on light with a daylight bulb in it, clipped to the top. So I just had a square of paper I used to put things on, or hang a sheet up if it were anything bigger. And then that developed into roller blinds. Oh, now I've got them all over the place. There's one in here, there's two in there. And just a normal Instamatic camera because I didn't like using my phone. I'm too fat-thumbed. But I've got into that now, so I'm using my phone now because it's such a good camera on it, isn't it? And systems-wise, it was more a case of make sure I've got a few bags of every size and a few boxes from grocery shop, and just wing it, basically. And first thing for selling was going around the wardrobes and cupboards, and it's amazing what you've got. Absolutely tons and tons of stuff that you think, not worn it for a year, not used it for a year, it's going. and they were some of the best sales actually, because you're not you don't feel like they owe you anything, because you're not going to use them anyway, so it's just dead money. And what years previously I'd have taken to charity shop, so I just thought, well, you know, you could give it a go. And that's when I started with, as Caroline used to have the price it high and wait for it, I thought, well, they weren't doing anything in wardrobe anyway, so I may as well price them high and see. And then I was surprised, and I kept running downstairs into the lounge and saying, Phil, I've sold this, like, really, oh, 20 quid for the shirt, and I've not worn it for 3 years, things like that. So very disorganised, but it was good. Enjoyed it.
It's exciting in the beginning, isn't it?
Oh, very. Everyone is so excited. I mean, you still get a buzz now, but it's not the same as when it's just dead stuff that you weren't even thinking was worth anything.
Yeah, but I think that ka-ching though, it's still, it never gets old, does it?
Oh no! In fact, I'll make sure my phone's turned up, because I've never had one live on air.
Yeah, definitely. Has much changed for you, Karin?
Well, when I sort of came across reselling, this was my sewing room. So I was already making the console covers and selling those. Half the room was mine, all my sewing machines and everything, and the other half was Darren's with his gaming and everything. Somebody's ringing my home phone. Obviously, someone who doesn't know what I'm doing. So half of the room was his gaming setup and desk, and he had all like stuff, you know, Star Wars stuff on the walls and everything. And what started happening was all the clothes and everything were just getting piled on his desk, and other stuff on his desk. And then I said, can I use your computer? And then I was like, can you move that Star Wars stuff? And then it was slowly like that. And the last thing to go was the gaming chair.
Basically, Karin, you kicked him out. You kicked him out of his man cave, didn't you,
Yeah.
Karin?
So at the moment, he's building another PC, because I've got the gaming PC that he built. I'm using that. And he's building another PC to have in the living room. So he's going to use the computer in the living room, basically. So.
Is that you, Karin?
Yeah, that's me.
You see that grin that come over her face?
I had a good day actually today, after yesterday, which I knew would happen, because I had a really amazing day on Wednesday. So I knew Thursday would just not be as good. So, but yeah.
I think I was the same. A good, not bad Monday, good Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Thursday dropped off a cliff.
Yeah.
£2.99, I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, the weekend was great with all the payday weekend.
Mine was consistent. It was consistent. I'd done basically the same amount here, £20 here or there every single day, and it was over what my target is, so couldn't I? But yeah, now when I first started, I had, let me try and change this monitor around. Excuse the pigsty, but it's working office. If you can see past that bin bit, there's a little alcove, and in there, sorry, I'll make you all for a sec. In there, I used to have a built-in cupboard, which Cole built me, which is where I used to store the beads, because I was selling craft supplies, etc. before. And it had a shelf up the top, and that was the reselling stuff. And then it went to 2 cardboard boxes, then 3, then 4. Then I could not find a single thing. And that is when I implemented the stock system I've got now, though they were different boxes at the time. So, but yeah.
It's changed quite a lot now.
It's got a little bit bigger.
Yeah. You're a bit hemmed in now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But needs must, you know.
Exactly. But all to change soon.
Yes, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Hush, hush.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we've said this before, but when we first started, we were living in a really small sort of 2 up, 2 down type house. So our stock was literally everywhere. In our bedroom, there was media piled up on every surface and up against the walls. There were board games and all kinds all over the living room. I mean, it was embarrassing to invite anyone round because it just looked like a stock room.
They'd never be bored though, would they?
This is true. Yeah, it was quite fascinating for people, I have to say, but for me, it was a bit mortifying. It was like, welcome to my lovely house. Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to do what you have to do, don't you? You know, if you need to make a living, you have to do it.
Yeah.
You know, there's no two ways about it. You know, yes, I'd love to have, this is a third of my living room. I'd love to have this space back. But at the moment, I need to make a full-time income, which isn't going to happen by having one box of stock, you know, in what I sell on my selling price. So
Exactly. I've got severe tack creep in the living room at the moment, and it's all my fault because, well, basically the sunroom has been so bright, I've had to bring clothes in here. So, yeah, it needs tidying up right now because I've been rummaging. I know, Nick's going
Hello,
to.
Nick. Hello, Nick. What now over there?
I'm not allowed tack.
Yeah, you can see him in the middle.
I've seen him in there.
We've got a question. Oh, I'm really behind, so I'll get to it. Yeah, so yeah, I can't blame Nick for this. It's my fault, and I'm going to have to get it sorted later. But yeah,
I'm not allowed tack. Sorry,
light.
aren't you?
I'm not allowed tack creep downstairs because Phil's, that's his domain down there. So down in kitchenette lounge, you have to stay spot on. If there's anything in the hall, as soon as he comes in from work, I'll go, do you want this taken upstairs? And he brings it up. But I have taken over the loft and 2 bedrooms. So
I was going to say, you have got quite a bit of space upstairs, haven't you?
yeah,
So it's not,
can't blame him.
it's not like you haven't got space.
No.
But at the moment, in my kids' bedroom, are 3 boxes of clothing I've got to go through. They've just arrived today, so they're in there.
Okay, I don't know if we want to go into much detail on this, but basically, Smith asks, what are our thoughts on the new seller protections coming in for eBay business sellers? I can speak to that quickly and say that actually I think it's quite positive. I don't think it's negative in that.
I am.
So
I haven't read it.
What are they giving us then? What is it that's going to be so beneficial?
as long as we're listing everything on 30-day returns, no, I can't really off the top of my head, but basically it's just giving us all extra protection, and it's extra protection against fraudulent buyers, people that are trying to scam us, that kind of thing.
Do you know how they're going to do that?
I'd have to read it.
I know you have the option to give a partial refund, don't you? If an item isn't sent back in the condition you sent it. I've not done that yet. I mean, I've not had it yet. But if I was to sell something that's brand new tags that came back without tags, surely that's my word against theirs. And that would be my one big thing about doing this partial refund thing. I don't know. I don't know. I've not read into it, to be honest.
Should they not be protecting us fully anyway? Really? Shouldn't that be part of what we're doing for them and they're doing for us kind of relationship? Perhaps.
Yeah, the one thing I did think was, didn't they already offer that? I don't know if there was a particular percentage, but I thought there was already an option to only partially refund. There are other things. I was just trying to find it.
I would say recently, well, since just before the summer holidays, there have been a lot more understanding on sellers. So if you do have something that hasn't gone right for one way or another, they are pretty good. You know, like I've had iron ads removed, I've had defects removed, I've even had them refund 2 people because they've come up with bogus reasons for a return. I mean, I've just phoned them up and said, I don't mind taking it back. I'm a business seller. I accept returns, but it was not my fault. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. Please read what they've put in there and read the description and the title. And then they've ended up refunding them.
And don't we have to have 30-day returns anyway? I thought that was
sellers do.
fairly compulsory.
There is still an option to use 14 days, but they do suggest 30.
Yeah.
I've got it on my phone. There's you can use the report the buyer tool to report the case if you receive a false item not as described request. If the report qualifies, we'll credit your monthly invoice for the cost of the return postage label up to £3.50. So basically, get the return postage back.
That's quite good then. Because then at least you know that report you buy thing isn't just a therapy for us business sellers.
Yeah.
You know, that makes us feel better.
And I think they said they'll for reported cases, will automatically remove negative or neutral feedback, defects, and the opened case in your service metrics.
Mm.
Okay.
So that will automatically be taken off.
Mm.
And then it extends to cases of when an item arrives late that you posted on time, or you fulfilled your order as promised but received inaccurate feedback or defects, and or a buyer demands changes or extras from you. So,
which I would have thought should have been there anyway.
it
Really.
should, but
yeah.
So they're basically making sure that that happens now.
So they're trying to actually clamp down on scammers eventually then.
Yeah.
I think so. So I think it can only be a positive thing. It's a step in the right direction, isn't it?
That's what I've seen. Fake Rachel's just put in there. It's like up to 50% on partial refund. But I think you get that anyway if you did free returns. Yeah, I do free returns, and that's how I've noticed it. Because it now comes up if I have a return to refund them, how much. I asked me how much on refunds, and it's all a total amount, you know?
Yeah, me too.
But yeah. So that's why I've probably noticed it. So it's probably what they mean is it's going across all sellers then, whether you offer free returns or paid returns.
Okay, Cyan the Moor says, can I ask, when you buy from Car Boots, do you itemize each item in accounts or put it down as total cash purchase for items that day?
Yeah. Well, cash, I just put an amount in. I don't log in. I started doing that, but now with the amount of listings I've got and the amount of stock I buy, it was completely pointless. I've got receipts, so I don't need to know how much each item costs anymore. It really doesn't matter too much. I just put an amount per receipt, or like this morning I spent £30 with my flea market lady, so I just put flea market lady £30, button lady £7, which is what I spent this morning. That's it. I haven't even got a written receipt. I have nothing, but I just put it there because it shows that I am consistently buying things on that basis. So I'm not doing anything peculiar.
I don't do boot sales. Well, I go to probably one a year. When I think, I should go to boot sales, and I remember actually I don't need to go to boot sales. I get sort of stock elsewhere. But I do jumble sales, and again, it is cash basis, isn't it? When you go to jumble sales. But what I tend to do is I get a piece of paper because I just put it in my receipt. I get a piece of paper, I write on there the date it was, the location it was, the time it was. Because then, if HMRC really had the urge to, they could go and track to make sure there's a jumble sale there on that day. And then I write and how much I've spent, and then a very rough breakdown. So it normally says clothes, but if I buy anything else, it clothes, ornaments, UFO, whatever, it could be whatever. But a really rough breakdown. I don't break down each individual item. And then when I go to the filler bag, it's like bags times this and extra clothing times this. And that's it. And then I just plug that in my tax return.
It's time, isn't it, really? And it's probably not necessary. I think when you start, you want to know, I paid X for this and I got this back. And it's interesting to see where your returns are coming from. Once you're kind of really up and running, I think you have to look at the business in a much broader sense and look at, am I making money month on month? Is what I spend on stock versus my turnover versus my profit a workable ratio for me? Can I get a salary out of it? They're more important questions than the absolute minutiae, I think.
Yeah, as Nick put, ours is still chaos. Basically, he has a book, and I think yesterday he was going, hang on, I haven't written everything down for the Rumble Trail. So we were trying to go through what we actually bought. And I think basically we do like clothes, spent this much, media, spent this much. So it's nothing that's too itemized, but we do try and break it down to a little bit,
Ours is similar. I'll say ours, it's mine. I'll put clothes, toys, shoes, whatever, and total. But I've done my figures in a old-fashioned A4 envelope, one for each month. So I have like an invoice book, duplicate book. But instead of using the duplicate, on the first page of the two, I'll write down what I'm buying, and on the second page I write down my mileage, and then I tear them out and stick them in that month. So making my own receipt out, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, so there are many ways to do it, and
Although will qualify for anybody watching. I've not been audited. I don't know if any of us have. So
I was going to say that I've never been audited. I've been self-employed.
if unsure, ask your accountant.
I'm not
That's
sure
fine.
we could audit us.
Advice like that. I've never been audited. If I was audited, I could be doing it all completely wrong. And then I'm in trouble.
very true.
It would be a brave auditor that tried to do anything with a small-time reseller like us, because the amount of slight discrepancies there might be is going to be completely outweighed with their time and energy. It's never going to be worth their while, really.
I've got to be fair. I'm more than likely not to have written something down.
Yeah, me too.
Because you get back from a car boom by about 5 o'clock. I've forgotten.
I know before I've lost them. I couldn't tell you where they are. So there's things that I've sold that haven't been claimed for. So
Yeah,
I've gone to do the following year's accounts and then found receipts and stuff from things that should have been in year before. And I think, oh, pants.
It's happened.
I didn't put about that new unit or, in my capital expenses and things like that.
Yeah.
we want to start selling internationally. This is Victoria, on eBay, but not sure how to go about it. Like countries that are best to post to, what to charge for postage, and is it best to use Royal Mail or a courier? I would suggest that if you're just first starting out, use eBay's global shipping program. Use GSP. Because they do it all for you. All you have to do is send it to the global shipping program, which is in the UK, and then they take care of all of the international things for you. Everything's covered, so you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, I'd second that. I mean, I've been going a number of years, and I still stick to using them because of the sheer lack of stress. I've got to be honest, the sheer ease of it is worth it. And I have got probably now, because Brexit and exchange rates and everything else, I probably have about 25% of all my orders are overseas. So, and I'm still GSP all the way. Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the uncertainty of Brexit at the moment. At least we know that eBay will have everything in hand, really. They'll have all the exporting paperwork and all of that. It's going to be a headache if we leave the EU. So, yeah. Does anybody else do their own international shipping? Would they have any advice?
me, I do all my own international shipping. I was just doing EU, but I've gone to doing all my own international shipping. I had a customer buy something from Germany, and it arrived within 3 days. That's the reason why, because they were getting things a lot quicker. But I have been doing it for a while. I would say if you're asking the question on how to post it, go with GSP, because if and this, how can I say, it's about saying nothing, if you do not know how you would post internationally, you are not ready to do international postage as such. I've only just literally started doing my own international postage. So, but yeah, I mean, what you do is you go on to whatever way you're going to do it, you look through them, you look at prices to make sure it's signed or tracked, and then send it that way. So that's how I've done it, and I've not had, touch wood, any problems since doing my own international shipping.
Yeah.
I've done both. When I did the sugar, I used to make the sugar cake decorations and send them out. I had a lot more parcels going out in a day than I do now. And there was a lot of large letter and quite a lot of small parcel, but I could have 2 or 3 a day of really huge parcels. And I used to send them myself. I didn't have GSP on then. But I had a franking machine, so it was dead easy because I could just stick it on it, weighed it, told it where it was going, it would print me a franking label off. So that was easy enough. And now with the tat shop, I've got GSP on. So I've done both. And I just like the fact that once it's gone to GSP, it's gone. Whereas before, trying to it's all right liaising with America or Australia or something. When you're trying to liaise with Spain and France, and it's like, oh, now that's been lost in translation.
Yeah.
But don't you find that though when you have an issue? Because I've had problems before where customers have said how items haven't arrived, and it's gone via GSP, and the reason it hasn't arrived is they've sent it somehow to address where it's like a PO box, and they need a signature for GSP.
Mm.
But they can still open a case, and you still have to talk to them in their native language. And it's not like, as in on the case, and it's not like you can talk to someone in eBay Germany. You have to do it via email.
Mm.
So that's the thing. That's another reason why I thought, you know what? Because I had a couple where it's like that. I thought, you know what, I'm not doing it.
The thing is, though, even if you're sending through Royal Mail, I had one that had gone and I'd sent it myself through the franking, and it had got lost in Spain. And I contacted our post office, and even then it was like, well, you need to contact them in Spain, because once it leaves our shores, we can't do anything about it. Our tracking shows it's gone there, and I was still having to try and talk to people in my sort of pidgin Spanish in their post offices, and we sorted it. Thank goodness I knew a little bit, you know, even enough to say I don't understand what you're talking about, and then they'd get somebody English to come on and speak to me. But we still had to liaise with them, even though it through Royal Mail.
My main thing is it's a lot more hassle for me to have to go and stand in and deal with post office than it is for me to go to my lovely little newsagents who do all my Hermes for me. That's my main reason. I can't stand the post office.
No, I can't.
We have here. I mean, I know other people have better experiences, but for me, it's like, oh God, no! I'd rather poke my eye out with a fork.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was the other part of the question, wasn't it? Which courier do we use, courier or post office? And I've used Hermes for thousands. We've lost Karen.
I'm guessing a shopping's turned up.
Possibly.
Yeah, I've sent thousands with Hermes. I think I've only ever lost 3 and paid out straight away. So, touch wood.
What do you use, Karen? Do you use GSP?
I do, yeah. I just find it so much easier. I mean, it was a bit glitchy at the beginning, because when I was selling my my console covers, I used to get loads of complaints from people saying they hadn't received them, mostly in Italy, or you get loads of messages saying it still hasn't arrived, but I think they're much better than they were when it began. So I haven't had any problems recently.
Yeah. And the added thing is that if it does get lost, it's not your issue. As long as you've got it to the GSP centre, if it gets lost between there and the customer, that's their issue to deal with. So, you don't have to pay for that. That's Ellen boiling the kettle, if you can hear that. Okay. Clara asks, what platforms have you all tried, and which ones do you prefer? eBay, Vinted, Depop. It doesn't exist anymore. But anyone use any other platforms?
To be fair, the only other thing I've sold on is Gumtree, which isn't in that list, and that was when I was doing more furniture stuff, because the fees you saved were vast. In terms of Vinted and Depop, I've never really got my head around it. I'm not an Instagram social. I haven't got the time. I haven't really got my head around it. So eBay currently is working well enough for me at the moment.
Yeah. Do you use any other platforms, Sue?
I currently eBay, and I've just opened up my Etsy shop again, because I used to do the sugar shop through Etsy, and then I shut it down when I shut the sugar shop down. But because I'm selling some of the vintage chinas and stuff, I thought, well, I'll open it up again now with vintage and see. And I've only sold about 3 things on there, but got a better figure than on eBay anyway. But previously I did Amazon and I did FBA, but it did my head in. Couldn't source stuff quick enough, because I'm not into DVDs and media and, CD, all that stuff. Not into that. And got stung by buying job lots of books, and turned out they were a load of rubbish. In fact, they're still here now if anybody's interested. Hardback books. So I didn't bother with that. And then I couldn't stand the way it was the same as like with eBay, that you thought you were going on all the platforms, but then you weren't. You'd got to register for all the different countries, and you were getting inundated by emails from other countries, and your money were coming in, and you could have money going out to Italy, and you think, well, why am I sending money to Italy? Because fees were more than what you've spent, sold and stuff. So I didn't get on. So I got all my stock back from FBA and sold it on eBay. And I've not bothered with Depop and Mercari or anything. So eBay and Etsy at the minute.
Yeah. Do you sell on Etsy, Karen?
I did open an Etsy account and put a few bits on, but there was just no interest. So I might give it another go. Depends. I mean, I don't get many vintage items like you do. So there's not really that kind of market. I mean, I know you can sell handmade stuff, but Etsy are quite funny with your licensed fabrics. They don't like them. They're just like unlicensed, normal fabrics. So I don't know about that. I used Mercari a lot when it was here to buy. I bought a lot of stuff off Mercari and sold it on eBay, but I didn't actually sell anything on Mercari.
Mm.
Yeah.
We still want Poshmark, don't we? We all want Poshmark to come to the UK. Please, Poshmark, if you're watching.
It's difficult on Etsy, Karen, isn't it, with the sort of trademarks and stuff? Because
Yeah.
when I did the sugar, I used to make little Hello Kitty faces, with the bow on and that, and people loved them. And I got a strike on Etsy because it said Hello Kitty.
Yeah, I used to make jewelry out of Lego, and I got a strike from using Lego, just the word Lego, and I had to put like a little R next to it every time I put Lego to show that it was a registered trademark.
Yeah.
And I couldn't understand it because the site was full of people just using the word Lego.
Yeah, it does make you wonder, doesn't it? Why have you been singled out?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, I've got an Etsy shop and I've sold a few bits, but nothing major. And only Depop sold 3 things on there now, so that's not setting the world alight, But yeah, we do Amazon and we do well on that at Christmas. It ticks along during the year. But I think eBay is probably still the place to be.
Yeah.
We like to complain about it. It's the biggest marketplace, so.
I love eBay for all its faults. It's got a lot going for it, hasn't it? Really,
It's the only one around.
it's the only good one.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Nothing else reaches that many people, and Amazon just isn't good for the kind of things I sell. And even if I wanted to break into Amazon, I think now you're restricted from everything these days. So, yeah.
I mean, we can complain about fees. I look like a ghost, me, don't I? Sorry, everybody. We can complain about the fees, but like you said, Heather, where else do you get the coverage? And
yeah,
and,
it's definitely cheaper than a bricks and mortar store. And you've got a bigger market. So. Yeah. Nick's complaining that I'm quiet, so he's going to try and use the microphone.
No.
I did think you were a little bit quiet, yeah.
I know.
Are we going to get his face peeping over the top again? He just likes to photobomb, that's all it is. He wants to be a sour lady.
Do I need to can you hear me?
I look in the mirror.
Will it just automatically do it? Or
I don't know, you might have to go in settings.
Oh.
You carry
Yeah, it's not louder yet.
We've seen you, Nick. You may as well come in.
Oh, default internal microphone.
Say hello.
Do it. You do it.
Right, hang on. Blue snowball. Done. Okay, you should be able to hear me a bit better now.
That is a little bit louder, yes.
Yeah. Testing. 1 2 1 2.
That's good.
This is a BBC broadcast. Yeah. So hopefully that's better. Good job I've got a tech man, isn't it?
It's always handy, yeah.
You could have come 45 minutes ago, couldn't you, really?
No, yeah, exactly. Right, okay. So Vicky, the toy hoarder, asks, what is your ASP, your average selling price, and do you prefer to sell a few high ticket items or loads of lower price items?
Lots of high ticket items. That's my preference.
That would be the ideal.
Yeah, I am getting rid of lower price stuff just because there's plenty of other people doing it, so nobody's deprived. It's taken me a long time, but my ASP at the moment is £35. So I'm not selling huge numbers of things, but I can sell 5 things and clear £200. So yeah, why wouldn't I? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Corinne?
It was higher. It was in the 20s before, but then I've had the hauls, and obviously it was just a load of stuff that's lower price that I paid a lot less money for. So my average selling price, I think, is about £17 at the minute. But once that's cleared, I should go up again, because I do like to sell more quality items and shoes, which you get a higher price for than you do a top. So yeah, it should hopefully go up again. But in the meantime, I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm only on about 15 now. It was higher, but I used to do bigger bundles, but I got sick of waiting for bundles to get big enough, so I started sticking them on. But you can hang on to them forever, can't you? But I don't mind selling lots of little ones, so long as they're easy packaging. Oh, hello, back.
Sorry.
Well, if they're easy packaging, I don't mind if they're a fiver, to be honest. But,
Yeah. So, Karen, this is your perfect question.
Right, go for
What's
it.
your ASP, and do you prefer to sell a few high ticket items or loads of lower price items?
My ASP at the moment for last month was £12 was my average selling price. That includes postage, obviously, which is about £3. And I am tickety-boo fine with that, because I did try putting my average selling price up and sales slumped. So also, yes, you still get returns, either whether it's high ticket or low ticket. But if I get one return, it doesn't have that much of an impact as it would if you have one return on a high ticket item. A return on one higher ticket item can wipe out your sales for that day if you have a slow day.
Yeah.
So, but then I can list fast as well. I would say the only reason why my model works for me is because I can list 50 items in a day. So I can make the turnover or the profit even that brings me in a full-time wage.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what our ASP is. I haven't looked for a while. But obviously we sell such a huge mixture of stuff, right from, Nick sells a lot of media, which is really quick to list, and a lot of it's like £2.99. So you're making a very small profit margin on that. Right up to, I try and pick up clothes that have got a bigger profit margin because I'm so slow listing. So I need to do that. So I don't know. I reckon it's around 15 to 20 on our average selling price.
But there's no wrong or right average selling price. There is no wrong or right average selling price. It's what is wrong or right for you. And to be honest, you could have £100 average selling price, but if you're paying £99 for it, you are not making a profit. Average selling price is relative to what you're paying for an item. You'll know I pay on average 50, but it works out 50p an item. So
yeah, totally.
You're always good at saying what really matters, Karen.
But it's true though. I mean, if I my average selling price is quite high, but if I was paying £10 an item, it would be silly. I'm paying between £2 and £4 an item. That works for me. But it is hard to find, and it's only having done it for so long that I've refined what I look for to be able to do that. And I know I'm lucky where I live. I know I have enough time and flexibility. I have a car. I have certain advantages that are not going to be available to everyone else out there. So you've just got to do what works for you and make the very best of whatever the situation is that you have to deal with.
yeah. Plus, I'm not the most meticulous of lister. I do not iron anything. I do not steam anything. I'm sorry, you're paying £12 for something, including shipping. I am not going to be steaming it and ironing it for you. I'm really sorry, but because of that, I don't. Yeah. Look at Sue. She's like, oh. I do watch the occasional thing though. That makes me feel good. But,
Me and Andrea are checking.
No, I can't.
If I did that, I would not be able to sell at that price.
Because the only way I could sell a creased item if it was a dare, because I just can't do it.
Why I don't make enough money though, Karen.
Yeah.
But, everyone's got their strengths. Everyone's got their strengths. My strength is listing quick. Yes, I'm a bit. I hate saying this about being a lazy lister. Not meaning that I don't list a lot, but as in how much effort I put into each listing. I fill in all the item specifics. I put in the correct, well, or what I think are the correct keywords in the title. Take good enough photos, and put in basics. Like literally, all my descriptions normally good use condition. It measures approximately blah 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 blah, and that is my description.
Yeah, but you're selling them.
I don't go putting in there when I'm posting it because that's in my dispatch time. I don't go putting in there whether I accept returns. That's below. You know I accept returns. And all the other spiel, people just don't read it. I don't even think they read the descriptions anyway. So,
yeah, I had someone send me a message actually the other day saying, "Can you give me the sizes of the bag?" And I said, "It's in the specifics." They didn't even look at the specifics. So
Yeah, they're the ones who are lazy, not us. Yeah.
No, and you know, we have to put in all of the item specifics now.
Oh yeah.
You know, we're forced to put all of that stuff in, and people mostly don't look at it. So,
but I think if you're listing the same niche a lot, I think you can get pretty quick at it. You know, if you list, you know, you do get quicker at it. You know, no matter. I'm not talking about the prepping time that I do nothing for, but I'm talking about the actual listing itself, because you know what the difference is between a crew neck and a V-neck. You know what the difference is between a long sleeve and a short sleeve. You know if someone's got a bell sleeve or a flute sleeve. You just know it because you've been listing in it for a while.
true.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I find I'm getting a lot quicker at listing clothes now. And then if I swap and I list something I don't know about, I spend a long time researching it. And then I realize it's taking me a lot longer to list things that aren't clothes these days because I've got so much more knowledge of clothes. I can just,
but I said you need to
clothes, they're so easy.
You just need to play to your strengths. Whatever your strength is, like Heather, you can pick up really decent brands for £2 or £3 and you can sell them on for quite a big profit. That's a strength. You know, everyone here has a strength, and you need to play to that strength to actually get the money you need to get.
Yeah.
I don't think I've got any strength. I just sell average stuff. I can't think of anything that I'm really good at.
Well, sewing for one.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, you probably know more about shoes than us.
Yeah, I have got quite an interest in shoes, so.
I think sometimes though, Karen, you don't need to have a strength in any particular niche though, do you? You can just be out there and spot something and think, I think there's money in that. I don't tend to do research when I'm out. And maybe I should, I don't know, but I always feel a bit awkward with the phone and things anyway. Or if I'm at a car boot, I just want to be moving on. I don't want to spend 10 minutes at one stall looking something up and then see somebody picking something fabulous up on next table. That'd drive me insane. And I think for what I'm paying, it's cheap learning, isn't it? If you're paying £2 for something, that experience is invaluable, because you'll remember if you've already bought something and it's not worth anything. But I think you've got an eye for stuff that sells though, Karen. It's not.
Yeah, I suppose just general knowledge. I have got a good general knowledge, and I've got quite a good. If I read something, I've got quite a good memory. Like with those Aldo shoes I found, I had a feeling that I'd written that down in my little book, and then when I bought them, I checked my little book, and I was like, yeah, it was in there. My mum was like, how did you remember that? I was like, I don't know. I get a little ping in my head, and I just like, I think I've read that.
See, you're good at the homework, Karen. See, because I buy a book, I don't need to do the homework. I just do it as it comes in. You know, it's a very different business model I've got to you. So you have to go out and source your items. I mean, I know you've brought 2 job lots this year, but you have to go out and source your items. Nah, I do jumble sales and fill the bags for a laugh.
I love sourcing though. I love the hunt. For me to go out to my honey hole places that I love and not know if it's going to be a great day or a bad day, but I've got enough stock that it doesn't matter. And it's just such fun. And I'll buy anything if I like the line of it or the shape of it or something about the design. And that for me is what I like doing best, is learning new stuff. Clothes is every day now. There's not much really to learn about clothes other than what sells and what the fashion is. But, you know, I've got a reasonable grip on that now. I ought to have after all this time. But I need to learn about something new because I get bored.
Yeah.
For me, it's posting. I love posting. You know, but, you know, clothing's really easy to post. I love the posting. And I even love filling up my bags, taking a boot full of bags and getting £15 for it, because it's getting it out of my door. That's what I love. I love getting it out. Because then my job is done.
You know, one thing that I think is key here is that whatever job you're doing, once you become knowledgeable about it, you then start thinking it's easy. So like Heather's just said, the only thing you need to know is whether it's going to make a profit, whether you should be, except you know necklines, hemlines, fabrics, fasteners, where they come from. You know so much more that you're now saying you don't need to know much, but it's because you're knowledgeable about it.
Well, that's it. I've been doing it for 3 years now, and
So you can make it look easy.
Yeah,
but-
I can sort of design, but I learn fast.
Yeah.
I think in this business, it really pays to be able to learn and absorb information fast. I would say that flexibility and adaptability is probably one of the core things that we all share, however different we are. Because if you don't learn, you don't make any money.
Yeah.
And when you get to my age and you can't remember anything, I can watch your lot's videos on all these clothes that you've picked up. And unless I've ever owned one before, it's gone completely out of my head every time I've gone to a charity shop.
You pick up all those Duplo and little people and things, and I think I see it and I'm like, I haven't the slightest. It all looks the same to me. So you make it look easy, you know.
I look at it and just think I don't want to pack that. It's all right. China, the funny thing is though, China, I don't mind packaging. China, I do not mind packaging. Like, I've been selling quite a few mugs and that recently, and I don't mind packaging them. And they go out in boxes like this for like a little mug, right? Because they're not getting broken. I mean, I've had compliments on my packaging about really well packed. Nothing was going to break this, you know, because of how much I packed it by. But yeah, plastic toys, for some reason, I get scared of them getting broken. I can't deal with them.
I'm just attracted to them, but I must admit, novelty's wearing off. Just so big and bulky to package up. And,
Yeah. I have to say, what you were saying before, Heather, I was nodding furiously because I feel exactly the same way. I just loved going out and learning about stuff and finding out about new things, and a source for fun. I mean, as you can see, that's why I've got too much stuff. Because it's just lovely to pick up, you know, gorgeous vintage pieces and you know, things that you haven't really dabbled in before, and pick it up cheap to learn about it. And I love that.
You see, I'm such a robot in this game, aren't I? I buy it and I list it, sell it, buy some more, list it. So as I said, I've got 3 boxes in there at the moment, and that's doing my head in, and they've only just literally arrived. I can't be dealing with
picked these up, look.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Perfume bottles. Which way? That way.
Oh,
so I've got to look these up. Spent 2 hours last night. Spent 2 hours looking these up, and I'd never bought them before, and I just bid on them at auction. I thought, I'll enjoy that.
Yeah, because you're going to learn, aren't you?
Might not make any money at all. But I'll know next time then.
You will indeed.
Okay, so quick question here from Rory. When do you recommend subscribing to eBay's monthly store accounts?
Oh, you mean getting a shop, presumably?
I'm guessing, yeah.
I'm guessing.
I mean, I would recommend, as soon as you're reselling to make a profit, and you're not just reselling your own clothes or your own things in your house, then I would suggest opening a business account, but open a store when you started to build up your stock. And I don't know, what do you think? There's a sort of a cut-off? It's been such a long time since we opened our store.
The basic level shop gives you a certain number of listings, but it doesn't give you some of the advantages that I think most of us are probably on featured shops now, because we're that higher up. So I wasn't on a basic shop for very long at all, so I don't remember much about it. I think what you want to do is look at the amount that you're paying to list items, look at the, you know, and see if it equates with the amount of subscription you'd be paying to join the basic store, and see where the balance is. I know that with the featured store, I think it's somewhere around, once you get up to about sort of 600 listings, you should be seriously looking at having a featured store, because there are other advantages that go with it, like being able to schedule your listings and, you know, use of analytical tools and stuff like that. But I think it's a case of you've got to go into it in depth yourself and make your own mind up, really.
It's when your listing fees outweigh it. basically. Your
Yeah.
listing fees outweigh the source subscription. That's when I made the jump between basic and featured, and that was about 600 listings. I looked at it and I was like, I'm paying like 12p less a month to do this. So I went up to the next level.
I was going to say I've got 2 eBay accounts. One's just a registered business one, so I haven't got a basic shop yet because I'm only on about 30 listings on that one. And then when I get to about 75, then I'll go to a basic shop because that's when it's about the same cost and you get a bit more. You get 253 listings when you've got a basic shop and 50 auctions. And I'm only on about 160 on my basic shop. So obviously I don't need to go to a featured shop yet on that one.
Well, I did it from day one, really. As soon as I decided I was going to make a go of it,
Yeah.
and it's what I wanted to do, I registered with HMRC as a business, as a sole trader, and then I went onto eBay and I opened an eBay account. Oh no, I'd already got my personal eBay account going, which I'd never done anything on it for years. And I changed that into a business account and opened a shop from day one because I wanted it to look professional and I wanted to learn how it worked as I was listing it.
Mm.
I don't like to learn anything and make do and then learn something else later. If I'm going to do anything, I suppose that's from training people.
Yeah.
You know, to train somebody properly, you need to see the whole picture. Well, that's how I feel when I'm doing anything. So I just did it from day one. So cost effective wise, it probably wasn't the best thing to do, but for, I think, building people's thoughts on what sort of thing you're selling and how you work, I think it's good for people to see that you're a shop.
Yeah.
There's someone in the side chats there put about when you get to 80 items, it's worth getting a
Right.
basic shop.
Okay.
So I knew it was around that kind
Yeah.
of figure. I think I waited until I got to about 100.
I think if you're going to go for it, it's not
Yeah.
long. Sorry,
I think
Andrea.
It depends on what you want.
Sorry.
I think it depends on what you want, and it depends on how much you realistically can list. I'm very target driven, and if you're a very target driven person, if you are paying that monthly fee, you are going to want to use it. And as long as you can, and I'm not saying everyone can list, but you know, list that amount. But if you can, I would actually say open a shop and give yourself a target to get that full by the end of the month.
Mm.
If you can do it. I mean, I was like Sue. I started with the craft supplies. It was my own personal eBay account. I used to buy the kids stuff off, you know, when they were babies. And then I just upgraded it to a business account, straight to a shop when I was doing the beads and craft supplies and that. And I just transferred it over onto, well, I say transferred it over, just started reselling it instead.
Not poor Darren Nick. He now plays his Xbox on a 54-inch screen, so he's not poor.
Wow.
Nick had a question. He said, do your friends and family think that you have an actual job or are you just messing about on the internet?
I think mine know that I actually have a job now because they see that, you know, there's some serious money to be made. So I think they've finally got it. Although they think I'm available 24/7, you know, because I'm at home and therefore I'm not really doing anything. They do realise it is actually a job and it requires a level of skill. Whereas I think for the first year or so, I think they thought I was just mucking about.
Yeah.
My sister's really good. She understands it. My brother gets it. My mother-in-law, on the other hand, she said to me, this is beginning of summer holidays, oh, we need to make stuff for the kids. I was like, yes,
Go away.
So yeah, we'll need stuff. I said, but I'm like really busy with work at the moment. Oh, have you got yourself a job now rather than doing that eBay thing?
Yeah. He's complaining that I highlighted a different comment. Well, it's because his questions, I'm so behind the chat, his questions disappeared. Yeah, so basically we need to catch up. Mark C says, what's the worst experience with a customer? Or are we allowed to say live?
Not had anything that hideous. I mean, you get people being unnecessarily rude because their parcel hasn't arrived or what have you, and you know, it may be written in very basic English, but really all you can do is try and reply politely and not let it get to you. But I always find the first few when you start out hurt a lot more.
Yeah.
As you've been doing it a lot longer, you're like, well, they don't know me. They think I'm some faceless corporation. They don't know. So that helps to not take it to heart, you know.
You've
But
got to take the person out of business. You've got to take the person out of business. It's not an attack against you. It's your business. It's not you.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
I don't think I've had anything really bad. The only thing I've had was time consuming because he'd ordered a load of china and one of his dinner plates had broken and he wanted to send it back, and I said, I haven't sent you a dinner plate. And we had all this backwards and forwards for about a week with, but you bought side plates, and I was sending him measurements saying this is the size you bought, and he didn't. Anyway, finally, after about, I think it took about a fortnight in the end to finally convince him that the dinner plates he'd bought from somebody else and he was messaging the wrong person. So we sorted in the end, but it just went on and on.
Yeah. The worst one we had was somebody, it was about a year or so ago, an older gentleman had, and I think he was maybe West Indian or something, I'm not sure, had a very strong, thick accent. He'd sent something back to us. He'd bought, I'm trying to think what it was. Oh, he'd bought a camcorder cassette. And he sent it back to us without opening a return or anything. So it just arrived with no note, anything. So we didn't know what was going on with it. And then he called and he said, I've sent this back to you. You've sent me the wrong cassette and I want you to send me the right cassette. And I was really confused. And I explained to him, we don't have this cassette that you want. We've sent you the one that you've ordered. We don't have another one in stock. But he wouldn't accept that. He just wanted us to send him this other cassette. And he got really, really aggro. And I said, well, let's try and deal with this through eBay. Open a return. I can give you a refund. We'll get our fees back. Let's just do it all through eBay. No, I don't want a refund. I want you to send me the thing I've ordered from you. And he just could not accept he ordered the wrong thing. But it escalated to a point where he was ringing us and he was threatening us. He was calling us supreme fascist white rapists. Had emails from him, all kinds of stuff. And then one night it got so bad, he was phoning us and hanging up every minute, every 30 seconds. It was like the phone would ring.
Mental health issues.
Ring, stop, ring, stop. And it went like that for about an hour. I actually phoned our phone provider in the end and said, what can we do about this? Because we can't block him. And they said, there's nothing you can do. You have to phone the police.
Oh, God.
So after that, we've put our mobile numbers on our eBay. So at least if ever we have a situation like that again, we can block it. Because
I've got an eBay phone. I've got a mobile phone, just PageGo mobile phone I use. It's got my mobile number on it, because I've had issues before in the past, people sending my number to places, and to be honest, Sunday 9:00 at night, I do not want a phone call from a customer saying, have you got this in this size? So not that I get many phone calls. I think I've had 2 on it since I've had it.
Good idea.
So just because I can switch it off, because people have got to appreciate, we may be on eBay 24/7, but we're not working 24/7.
No.
So
yeah, but it was just crazy, the things that he was calling us, and I was trying so hard to deal with him and to keep my patience. I was like, but we can't give you a refund. No, we can't give you the thing you want. We have to give you a refund. I don't want a refund. I want this thing.
Is it a bit frightening, Andrea?
Yeah, and then he was saying that we'd stolen it. He was accusing us of scamming him, stealing his money. And it just went on.
That's the whole reason I don't like our full address being on eBay,
Yeah,
that's the one reason. I think if they could even do it, I mean, obviously for returns now it's there, but even if they just done the postcode and the street name, because I don't feel very protective having my full address on eBay. Because you could have someone else that lives like literally 10 minutes down the road come barging on your door. You don't know, do you?
I know, because I was worried. If anyone pulled up outside our house, I was thinking, oh my God, he sent someone round. I felt like that for over a week afterwards. Yeah. Anyone else had any hideous experiences? Or
no.
I had that with the woman I sold the sewing machine to. She stole a load of the components of it, and it was just my word against hers, and that really, really annoyed me.
Yeah.
I had someone try and claim that a Fred Perry jacket that I sold them wasn't a jacket, it was this dirty minging vest top. They sent me a photo of that I sent them. The weight on it was 800 and something grams. Yeah, that's not a vest top weight, love. And then also I did have the pleasure of directing her to my YouTube video, the exact point when I packed it on Monday Packing Live and said, there's your jacket getting posted.
Ah.
Nice one.
And I hope she saw how much I paid for it.
We're very, very behind on questions, and we're going to have to wrap it up soon. So I did put a question up there, but it's disappeared now in my side chat. So I'm just going to go
about the summer slowdown and has it finished?
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, I did see that. For me, yes, it has finished. I am busier, but not everybody is. You know.
Yeah, I think definitely the last payday weekend, which was last weekend, there was a marked improvement. So it did feel like people were thinking, okay, new season,
yeah,
let's start buying again.
I've not really had a slowdown. My sales have been up, but I have increased my business since the beginning of July, and my sales have increased from it. So I'm looking forward to this month and next month to see what it's going to bring me.
Yeah, excellent. I did hear on the news this morning, they said the high streets really, really suffered this summer because of the heat.
Yeah, Cole's not as busy at work.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about moving home to grow or improve your eBay business?
Can't afford to. You're talking about cutting my mortgage payments. Just to move to a 3-bedroom house, can't afford it.
I haven't. I wouldn't leave this house for anything. But I did rent a garage for the tat. So yes, you do need more space. If you're in a small space, you need to find a solution. And moving house is horribly expensive. So surely it makes more sense to try and use a garage or a lockup or somewhere to keep it.
Yeah, I think in the future, I'd quite like a smaller house, but land that we could have something, build a prefab thing in the garden.
Separate building.
Out of the house, but we've got space to run a business. I think that would be the ideal.
Yeah.
I'd like to hire something sort of double garage sized that's about 5 minutes drive away, that I can lock the door so you're not getting that, like Heather said, where people think you're available all the time. I feel like I'm going to work and we get bedrooms back for grandkids to stay over. Yes. Or I won't move house.
Yeah, it's quite an extreme thing to do, isn't it?
Well, it is, unless you need to move for other reasons. Just to do it.
But also, it could be a solution, because it might end up being cheaper than actually renting somewhere or renting an office suite or
I think it depends where you live, doesn't it, and whether it's feasible or not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to move up, no disrespect to Sir Karen, I'm not going to move further north just to have more room for the tat. Because one, I've got a daughter in secondary school that's already well settled. My husband, I've moved him out of London as it is already. We're in the sticks now in Bedway. So this is where all our family are. So, and that's the same. It's no disrespect to the area up north. I've got family in Lincolnshire, lovely areas. I think there's some lovely other areas of the country, but as a family, we are settled here. No, Mandy, I'm not moving to Liverpool either, darling.
Yeah.
So, do you leave feedback as you post, or do you wait for your buyer?
Automatic. When they leave positive, it goes on for them.
Ours is as well, automatic.
Yeah.
No, I only leave it when I receive it. If they take the time to leave feedback for me, I take the time to leave feedback for them.
Yeah.
I just have it automatically set on, so I don't have to do anything.
Any ideas what you're going to do about the German VAT code?
Headstand.
Wing it.
I've seen emails from Amazon, but I haven't really got my head around it yet. I have to.
So that's Amazon, not eBay, then. This is Amazon.
I think it's just a general thing for Germany, but
I sent quite a bit of stuff to Germany, and I haven't seen anything, so I'll ignore it until it becomes an important item.
Yeah. Rory says, do you take a regular monthly wage from your selling or for tax returns.
Oh, what you mean save something for when you have to pay your tax?
Do you
Or
take
a
a
living wage?
regular month wage from your selling for tax returns? So maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I do save money. I do save money for tax and other things, and I will sort some away, especially on good months. You know, every time I see a reasonable surplus in the account, I feed my bank account because I need the money, or I feed the savings, which is where I take my tax from. So yeah, I think when you have good months, squirrel it away. Definitely, it's a wise thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if also he's meaning so that you can put it through when you do your tax and put it through saying that you pay yourself a certain amount.
Oh, I see. No, I just, when it's there, I take it. If it's not there, I don't take it.
Yeah. We don't pay ourselves a set amount. We just no. Fake Rachel's just answered Daisy May's thing. Apparently, she says Germany's packaging act thing with the waste question mark. I think you can register online for £8. So that's obviously something that we need to look into.
Yeah. If someone can make a video on it and lead us through, we'd be very grateful.
Yeah. I don't know if you're looking at me. I don't know anything about
I'm not
it.
looking at you. I'm looking at this question. That's why I'm. No, Andrea. No, you don't have to.
Yeah, you won't get much information from me.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe someone else can do it.
Yeah. Carrie says, I still haven't turned on GSP yet. I send everything signed for. Can you still send it to eBay signed for? I've been saying I'll do it forever, but still haven't.
I think
I only would if it was large letter, because you've got no tracking on a large letter thing. So if I send anything large letter, I always send that signed for. But anything else, it's tracked, isn't it? Like a small parcel and upwards, it's tracked anyway, and you get a message to say when it's arrived at the GSP place.
Yeah, we never send it tracked to GSP because it just doesn't seem to be any point to do that, really.
I would imagine they get a massive load of stuff all at once, don't they, from the post office? So they're not going to sit there and individually sign for each thing.
No.
So yeah.
I would say that was, I would say you wouldn't need to do that. Quick question from Eric. Does making YouTube make you accountable to eBay and help you with your business, or is it a time drain and a hinder?
It's a time drain and lovely.
It's an
People
enjoyable
company. They're all lovely people, and they keep me sane. But yes, it's a time drain. It takes me forever because I do about 40 snippets per video. It's about 2 hours to upload.
Yeah. Heather, would you say that making YouTube videos keeps you accountable to eBay and helps you with your business, or is it a time drain and a hinder?
For me personally, I'd say neither. I just think it's a bit of fun. Yeah, it's a hoot. I'll do it because I enjoy it. It doesn't doesn't give me anything other than lots of giggles, really.
Yeah. It's a good hobby to have, and it's a social thing as well, isn't it? I mean, that's, since we started, our social lives have been great, and it's been lovely to meet so many lovely people and make friends with you guys. So yeah,
I just need to do lives instead because apparently it's a lot quicker and easier and not a drain.
Yeah.
It's the vlogs that are.
Yeah, I can't do editing and all that stuff. I really haven't got the time. If I've got that amount of time, I should be doing this, listing and what have you. So I just sort of bang out content as and when it seems like I haven't done one in a while, or perhaps people might like this haul because it's a bit different, a bit more interesting. But I just think it's fun. I quite like doing it.
I suppose I could do live if I just said to people, disclaimer, can't do chat and concentrate on what I'm saying. So you lot chat and I'll just show you what I've got. I could do that.
Yeah.
If I get rid of my squeaky chair, that is.
WD-40.
Yeah, that didn't work on our squeaky chair.
No, it don't.
No, I ended up having to get rid of it, and I just use a fold-up chair now. Okay, Lainey's got a quick question. Have you ever sold something you wished you'd kept?
Sometimes there's been a couple of things that I thought, oh, darn it, I priced it high because I thought I might wear that for a bit before it goes, or try it, or have it hanging around the house decoratively for a couple of months, and it's gone. But I'm not that bothered. It's all just stuff. It doesn't mean I love it in the sense of what it is and how beautiful it is or how well made it is. But I'm not emotionally attached to stuff generally, really, because why would you be? Well, that's me anyway.
Nothing from my point of view, but I can't even remember what the item was now. But when Phil cleared out the garage and he was giving me his diving gear and flippers and electronics and all sorts to sell, then a couple of weeks later he said, "Where's my so-and-so?" And I went, "I sold it. You told me to sell it. You brought it me upstairs." He says, "Oh, bugger." But not of mine now.
Have you ever regretted selling anything, Karen?
Just a sewing machine. I would have kept it if I could have done, but I just didn't have enough space.
Yeah. Well, a lovely subscriber bought my brass deer. It's now been replaced by the humping bears.
Oh, yes.
That'll be a conversation starter when the in-laws come out.
Oh, yes, that's a conversation starter and no mistake.
Okay, lastly and very quickly, do you use promoted listings?
On and off. About 2% on and off.
I dabbled and I didn't like it. I don't actually like it. So I don't bother anymore, and it doesn't seem to make any difference.
Yeah, I use it. Who was it that said that they felt? Somebody said yesterday they felt that if they don't use it, they might not. The sales might drop off. Or
it might have been. Was it Karen or was it Karen or?
Was it Kelly?
Yeah.
Did Kelly say that?
Yeah.
No, it might be Kelly.
Some people have it on everything, don't they? And I think it can be take quite a chunk out of your profit if it's not.
Yeah, it can do. I did actually speak to Hannah yesterday. Actually, I spoke to her on the phone, and she was talking about this, and she said that just to clear it up with the new changes with promoted listings, and we'll talk about this more on Sunday. But basically, with where you had before, you had two listings, so you had an organic one and your promoted listing. And sometimes, depending on the algorithm, you could end up with your promoted listing here, then 3 down, or even next to it was your organic one. So to save confusion, that's why they're choosing one or the other. But they're not always going to choose the promoted listing. It really depends on. So she's explaining that, say, it's an item that it depends what someone's searching for. So if somebody knows exactly what they want and they put in, say a Lego part, and they put in the part number and everything, your organic listing is likely to come up because you've listed it with that part number and it's best match. But if it's somebody who doesn't quite know what they're looking for, maybe your promoted listing would come into their best match. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Sort of. But if you've got two listings,
it really depends on the algorithm and how people search and what they're searching for, and how the algorithm decides what would be best match for that particular customer, whether it would be the organic one or the promoted one. It's something like that. Correct me, anyone, if I'm wrong with that, but
yeah.
But yeah, I'll talk to Nick and we'll go into detail with it a bit more, because I might not have got that completely right. But
well, it'd be good to know how that works, because that seems like if you've got two listings active for the same thing, then when you're looking at the numbers of items listed, it's going to be inflated kind of artificially. So yeah,
you're only ever going to see one of those listings.
Which shows they can choose what they show you.
Buyer, you will only ever see one of those listings. The algorithm then decides which is your best match, whether it's a promoted one or whether it's the organic one.
But that proves our tin hat theory that the algorithm only shows you what it wants you to see.
Well, she did try to reassure us that they won't always pick the promoted one. It will be a mixture.
Oh, dip.
Anyway,
Mm.
okay, that's another. Oh yeah, Nick says, "Don't ask me."
Yeah, that's a whole nother show. That is. That's a whole nother show.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much, everybody. We've run way over an hour. We're an hour and 20 minutes. Thank you so much for all of your lovely questions and for joining us in the chat today. And thank you. We've lost Karen. Don't know where she went.
Yeah, tech issues, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you guys for joining us and have a lovely day.
Bye, everybody. Bye, everyone.
Bye.